Malcolm, you have 4 different registrations.
Yes, sir. I did register and insure 2 cars that I wasn't driving. It was somebody else driving it.
So you're responsible. You know that.
Yes, I know.
As soon as you put your signature down, you are responsible.
I tried to help, but they wasn't considering my driving record.
If you're that free with your signature, I got a couple of promissory notes here. I'll have you sign, right? Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Jamaica.
So it doesn't snow where you are?
No.
Does it snow in Jamaica?
No.
When's the last time it snowed in Jamaica?
Never.
Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one video that has really impressed me, it is this one. Why? Because it reinforces what I always preach out here, ladies and gentlemen: staying true to yourself and never changing who you are. There's a video that I made. There's a video that I made about Jamaicans 1 month ago, and I said that Jamaicans rarely change who they are, even after staying in the US for more than 20 years. Now here is one Jamaican Rasta man, ladies and gentlemen, who has actually reinforced my video that I made. Even after staying in the US for 20 years, for close to 20 years, he has never changed his own culture, ladies and gentlemen. Even if circumstances force him to, he has still remained true to himself. He's still a Rasta man, and he's still giving respect to Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, ladies and gentlemen. On top of that, he's a very respectful guy, very extremely respectful guy, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people out here, they say, oh, Jamaicans are rude, oh, Jamaicans are bad people, oh, Jamaicans are arrogant. Now look at this Rastaman, how he's very humble and very respectful. It is my job to always bring out Jamaicans in their best moments. That's what I do here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I talk about other things as well, but what I do here is to always give Jamaicans their flowers and bring out the best moments of the Jamaican people. This Rastaman, even though he's doing a very simple job in the US, he's trying to feed himself, he's working very hard, he has represented Jamaica the best way, and I'm sure that Jamaicans, wherever they are very, very proud of this one Rastaman who did performed very well in this court session. Take a look at this video, ladies and gentlemen, and then I'm coming back to react after this.
Jamaican Rasta variant appeared in U.S. court.
Mr. Malcolm, you have 4 different registrations.
Yes, sir. I did register and insure 2 cars that I wasn't driving. It was somebody else driving it.
So you're responsible. You know that.
Yes, I know.
As soon as you put your signature down, you are responsible.
I tried to help, but they wasn't considering my driving record.
If you're that free with your signature, I got a couple of promissory notes here. I'll have you sign, right? Okay. The parking during an emergency, was your car towed?
Yeah, it was a snow ticket. What happened, I parked in my driveway. So then we shoveled the road, this street side, clear it, back out the car, put it there. Shoveling out the yard now. Went in my basement. When I come back up,
I got the whole thing, okay? It was in January. There was a big snowstorm.
Yes, sir.
I got it. There's a lot of snow.
And I wasn't on
big mounds of snow.
I go on the street after when I clean the street.
Forget all that. Was your car towed?
Yes.
That's what I want to know. Right? Everything else is unimportant.
Yes, sir.
Right? I'm going to dismiss the ticket.
Thank you, sir.
So they towed your car, charged you $100. Then they gave you a $100 ticket as well.
Sir.
And you says, what's going on here? First they towed my car. I'm shoveling the snow.
When I come out,
it's all God's fault. He put all this snow here. Where are you from?
I'm from Jamaica.
So it doesn't snow where you are?
No.
Does it snow in Jamaica?
No.
When's the last time it snowed in Jamaica?
Never.
Never?
We always wear T-shirts and stuff. Good weather.
How long have you been in this country?
I've been here like 20 years now.
Oh, well, you're like you know about the snow now.
Yes.
I mean, if you say I was only here a month, I didn't know about snow. 20 years. I see you're wearing a necklace and you got a photograph of, so who's that?
Yes, this is His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie, the Kings of Kings in Ethiopia. Yeah.
King of Ethiopia?
Yes, Kings of Kings. He was crowned Kings of Kings in 1930.
I'm only asking out of curiosity. You can say I prefer not to discuss it. But is there a special reason why you would be wearing that?
Yes, because I'm a Rastafarian, and that's my culture. He's someone who I look up to.
Okay.
Yes.
All makes sense to me.
Yes, sir.
I broaden my horizons by asking these questions,
Yes.
right? So, for you to have that kind of faith in someone and
Yes.
acknowledge their greatness, I think is wonderful.
Yes, I'm a vegan, and I try to be as positive as I can.
Well, you make a great appearance before the court. You're very respectful. So
Yes, sir. Thank you.
your country should be proud of you.
Yes, sir.
This is your country now, right?
Yes, I'm here now. I'm a U.S. citizen now.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. The tickets, they were $180. I'm going to waive all the penalties. It's going to cost you $60.
Yes, sir.
So it's going to cost you a total of, let me see, $160
Okay.
for these tickets.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. And I could organize payments.
We'll put you on a payment plan.
Yes.
Talk to Alyssa. She's very generous.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that caught my attention and one thing that I knew that this guy has a true Jamaican spirit helping a brother out is he paid for 2 cars for someone else and he's not driving those cars. At the same time,
Malcolm, you have 4 different registrations.
Yes, sir. I did register and insure 2 cars that I wasn't driving. It was somebody else driving it.
So you're responsible. You know that.
Yes, I know.
As soon as you put your signature down, you are
I
responsible.
tried to help, but they wasn't considering my driving record.
If you're that free with your signature, I got a couple of promissory notes.
ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? Did you hear that? He registered 2 cars that he was not driving. And additionally, he was also insuring those 2 cars, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is very good. He's a very good guy. I hope people do not take advantage of this guy, because the problem is we have some bad mind people that might come and take advantage of this guy's kindness. This guy is very kind. In the US, from what I hear, that in the US, it's going to be very hard. You cannot do without a car. You need to have your own personal car to move from point A to point B. But this Rastaman came out and insured 2 cars and registered 2 cars, and he's responsible for those 2 cars that he has registered. And on top of that, he's not the one driving those 2 cars. He was doing that out of kindness. Where else do you hear this, ladies and gentlemen? Where else? Where else do you hear this? Giving a help to your brother and sister, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is a very good guy. Very humble. I hope he doesn't meet, very bad people who will take advantage of this guy. I really hope, ladies and gentlemen. Or what do you think? What do you think about this? Another thing is, ladies and gentlemen, this same guy is responsible for what might happen to those 2 cars that he has registered, and is not the one on the steering wheel, ladies and gentlemen. Even the judge himself, he had to reinstate that statement back. You are responsible for those 2 cars that you have not registered, ladies and gentlemen. Meaning that this guy, he has selflessly, sacrificed himself to help other people. I hope those people that he is helping are good people. I hope those people that he is helping, they are not going to mess up this guy, because clearly this is a very kind-hearted man, ladies and gentlemen. This guy deserves love and respect for the things that he's doing, ladies and gentlemen. Even though his car got towed, actually there's something that I have learned about him from his experience. There's something that I have learned about US, that your car can get towed, if you're parked in a wrong way, or maybe you stop, if there's a cleaning of snow and your car is on the way, they can tow your car. That is from my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not saying that I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that is why his car got towed, ladies and gentlemen. Well, away from that, ladies and gentlemen, just 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I made a video and I said that Jamaicans do not change who they are even after remaining or staying in the US for more than 20 years. Okay, now this Rastaman, even when circumstances, or even when situation might try to change who he is, he has still remained, true to his culture. Even after staying in the US for 20 years, 20 good years, The guy is still a Rastaman. He has not changed who he is. He's still the same way, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing speaks of power than a man who can remain steadfast, and still believe in what he believes in, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what he call a principled man, a man who does not change who he is. Take a look at what he's
You've been in this country?
I've been here like 20 years now.
Oh, well, you're like you know about the snow now.
Yes.
I mean, if you say I was only here a month, I didn't know about snow. 20 years. I see you're wearing a necklace and you got a photograph of, so who's that?
Yes, this is His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie, the Kings of Kings in Ethiopia. Yeah.
King of Ethiopia?
Yes, Kings of Kings. He was crowned Kings of Kings
Okay,
in 1930.
I'm only asking out of curiosity. You can say I prefer not to discuss it. But okay. Is there a special reason why you would be wearing that?
Yes, because I'm a Rastafarian, and that's my culture. He's someone who I look up to. Okay. Yes. All makes sense to me. Yes, sir. I broaden my horizons by asking these questions. Yes. Right? So, for you to have that kind of faith in someone and yes, acknowledge their greatness, I think is wonderful. Yes.
Salute to this Rastaman. Salute to this Rastaman, ladies and gentlemen. He's not embarrassed to confess of who he is, ladies and gentlemen. You can judge me, but I'm a Rastaman. I'm a Rastafarian, ladies and gentlemen. Some people will be embarrassed, to come out of their culture. They will be embarrassed to say who they are. But for this Rastaman, he does not care. He has remained true to his own culture, to his own way of life. I've told you, I have seen some African people going to the US and completely changing. They don't want anything to do with their culture. When you try to mention something about their culture, they shrug it off very fast. They get embarrassed. But look at this Rastaman, how he has remained. He's even teaching the judge about the Rastafarian. He's even teaching the judge about the kings of kings, that is Haile Selassie. He was crowned in 1930s, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, guess what? The judge has not judged him. He has not used his religion to judge him. Said he has respect. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes, when you present, when a person sometimes keeps presenting himself in different forms, even people don't respect such people because they do not have a stand. See, for this guy, he's a Rastaman and he has remained like that. He's not presenting himself in different forms. Oh, I'm a white man. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm a Rastaman. No, he's a Rastaman. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing that impresses me about the Rastafarian people, ladies and gentlemen, is how solid they are to their own way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, they stick to their own way of life and beliefs. They don't change. They don't present themselves in another complete different way. They don't embrace a foreign culture that they do not believe in. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is something that we can emulate from the Rastafarian people, is to always stick with their own beliefs. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen situations where, especially here in Africa, someone goes to the US, they have been growing up, to a certain way of life and certain teachings that they were taught by their parents, the certain morals that they were instilled certain morals in their lives by their parents. But the moment they went to the US, they started embracing something that is very new to them. They started embracing foreign cultures that doesn't align with their own beliefs and morals and teachings. Ladies and gentlemen, they completely change and become really, really bad people. Stick to your own culture and beliefs, unless maybe circumstances has forced you to for temporarily and there's nothing you can do about it. But please stick to your morals that you have grown up, that you have been grown up abiding to.
Do you know there's something that I've picked up, right, when going through people's comments about Africa, about the development of Africa, about Africans coming together as a collective, about BRICS, etc., and how it will benefit Africa. And there is a specific group of people that consistently, if you go through the comments, are there. And this is me giving them a shout out for constantly and always being supportive of Africa. And these are the Jamaicans. Without fail, under anything positive or anything negative about Africa, you will find Jamaicans supporting Africa, standing up for Africa, and just being part of the conversation and always saying that we are one. So this is me saying thank you.
Yes, Jamaicans love the African people. There is no doubt about that, ladies and gentlemen. They speak. They are one of the very few Caribbeans who speak about repatriations, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm so glad that the South African lady has noticed this. Jamaicans really, really love the African people so much. But now the problem is when it comes to African and Africans, most of us don't love each other. Most of us don't like each other. Let's speak the truth because this is the truth. We speak about unity all the time, but on the ground things are very different. Most of us are so full of we don't like each other at all. There is tribalism, there is corruption, there is nepotism. Ladies and gentlemen, as Africans, please, there's a lot we need to learn. There's a lot we got to learn. There's a lot we need to learn even from the Jamaican brothers and sisters. Look at how they're showing love to us. But when it comes to one of us supporting each other, it's a problem. It's a problem. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and watching my videos up to this point. And I'm going to make this video. I'm going to remake this video again in my next video. Stick around.
So, where some people are talk about life. You know, some people say, when you say God, them say life you talk about, you know. Life, God is life or God is good. Yeah, some people say they want to have a better life for them children. Others say, all them want is just life. Some people pray to wake up in the morning. So life is a word where most people have in them consciousness or subconsciousness and still don't understand or know how to achieve life in the abundance where life offer. Whether you want to supernatural it, or whether you want to divine it, or whether you want to just grasp it as part of your reality. We all crave for a longer life. And when we start to get sick, a little mind I said, sure, I better me just stay there, man. Because sometimes the pain where I feel in that sickness, the excruciating pain where you feel, make you start thinking in your mind, say, why just a sheep me dead? And then you have some people where them conscience bother them so much that them take them own life. Them own life. And leave others for really go in a really terrible state of shock in a film life. But we all learn and yearn for life. And people always say, them no want for dead. But there's certain times when people say, boy, I better me just dead. And some people kill other people and take them life. What is life? You know, them ever saying, say, if you love your life, you're going to lose it. Well, I wish man don't want to love him life. I don't agree with those talk. You have to love life. Because only one life you have. No care what nobody want to say. No care what nobody want to theorize. It's one life you have. And the only person can enjoy it is you. Because your life is the only thing you have where is almost unique to you, you know. Apart from your fingerprint, maybe. You know, see it. But that thing that called life is a very important ingredient in how we view each other. How we view each other is dependent on how we view ourselves. And this become almost like a scratch record. Because everybody is saying it. But not because everybody is saying it. It cannot be heard 1,000 times, multiplied by 1,000 times over. Because that is the way you're going to have it seep into the conscience and the consciousness of the people who get the opportunity to listen. We are saying, if you love life and you don't love other people, then you don't love yourself. Because everything is interconnected to the other thing. When someone do you wrong, sometimes you have to cut them off. When I say cut them off, I mean just say, what you know, I tell you over this and me over here, so. But you don't choose to take them life. And that is where we're living in now. When somebody say, them no want to deal with you over this, so. Them want to done your life. Them want to done the other person's life. And feel said nothing wrong with them, but everything is connected. Because it's one life. It's just different manifestation of the flesh. One life, different manifestation of the flesh. And none of we don't know which part the trade wind blow. Because the breeze come here and it pass through. And we can't tell which part it gone. Just like the word where we speak. When we speak, the word travel. And it go on and it don't stop travel. So the first word that was ever spoken is still traveling. It's still traveling. And it forms itself into what we call a vapor that you can't see. But if you could listen carefully in the wind, you would hear that sound, that first word that was uttered by human beings. It's still traveling millions of miles in the atmosphere. Don't stop travel. Millions of miles in time and space. So we have to be careful of how we say life. Because, trust me, a one night we have, and you have to protect it. And then in protecting your life, you have to know, so the next thing, and we're going to say thing because it's not just human being we are talking about. The next thing, have a feeling just like you. So you have to watch how you make that thing feel. You have to make sure that when you send out certain things in your way of life, that it don't affect people negatively. Because we are all searching for that positive energy, that flow between living things. And sometimes we create things around it to make it become what it is not and what it's not supposed to be. So we see people build blocks around it, and them calls that square or that circle, the space inside of that square or circle is determined by what man use that space to do. But it's only the block and the circle that make that life inside of the space different from the one outside of the space.
You are listening to
Because
the
if you
Black
move
Radar
with the
YouTube
circle
channel. Hit that
and you move
subscribe
with the
button
block,
and keep
them,
listening.
it's one space. One space. You can't tell the difference. That open land is only an open land because man don't find something to put in the open land, like a school, like a radio station. But when you move with all of the blocks them, when you move with all of this classroom, the space outside the classroom and the space inside of the classroom is the same space. It's just man decide what him going to use that space to do. And we have to use it wisely. Because when you lick down that block and the space inside the block become one with the space outside, if it wasn't used wisely when it have on the block, it can catch hell when it join up with the space outside. And that is where human beings they know. Human beings don't know how to connect with the space outside of themselves. Not knowing, say, it's them that take up space, and it's not space that take up our body. There's a great poet named Khalil Gibran. Khalil Gibran, in the prophet, the book in the prophet, he say, and when you love, you shall not say the Lord is in my heart, but I am in the heart of the Lord. And when you love, you shall not say the Lord is in my heart, but I am in the heart of the Lord. Because no matter what you call it, you can't escape life. All when you're dead, you can't escape life. Because you still occupy a space in time. You still occupy the space in time. All when worms eat up your flesh, it still occupy a space without the flesh. So what are we concerned with? We want to live a good life. That is the line of where we are talking about. We want to live a good life. Everybody want to live a good life. So we have to recognize the other man's life and what the energy that man puts out and say, oh, you can use it to make yourself become a better person or really elevate him. Some people live in a house, but them not live in a home. Because a house is not a home. And if you have peer war and tagging and lick down a picnic and all them something there and lick down a woman, that's not a home. You know, see it. You know, the man say a chair still a chair when there's no one sitting there. But a house is not a home. A chair is still a chair. But a house is not a home. And that's serious saying that. You have to have some cohesion, some connection with who and you live in at that house. Because the town had take up almost the same space between the walls. So you can just imagine something inside of you will take up you, and you will take up something inside of the building, and the two of you will take up something inside of the building can't connect with each other to no fullness. It's pure tag and war. The house going to broke down. The house going to broke down. Some man say, by him no business, and him are the man of the house. Yeah, but man of which house? So you got to be man of house. You can't be man of house. I know you the house bill, but the home is a different thing. You need a home. You need a home. A house is not a home. As the song said, instrumental, a house is not a home. A chair is still a chair, even when no one sitting there. Question is always asked, if a tree fall in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? If a tree fall in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? Can you answer that question? It's a serious question. Very simple, but a very serious question.